you automatically recurring. So, if you ever got anything you want to, chop it up with us about, please,
Yeah,
hook up with Keith and get on the line. Get on the
light it
line,
up.
man. Good to have you. Welcome.
Got you.
Welcome.
Thanks. Hey,
Because what's going on?
Oh, not too much, man. It's an easy day today. I'm off today. Trying to
Mm,
take care of these body aches of a 60-year-old man. That's about it.
it ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. Hey, man, look here. I lost my medicine bag the other day in panic, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, yo, fun fact, man. Because was the first person I ever seen run a live touchdown. I don't know who you was playing for Willa Run, man. I don't know who y'all was playing. I can't remember it, man. But it was amazing, man. It was amazing.
Yeah,
It was at that point, man. I said, I mean, because my brothers was, it was basketball or whatever. But it was at that point I decided, man, I'm gonna get on this field and I'm kicking everybody's ass. So it was an inspirational moment, man. And I thank you for that, brother. I don't think I ever told you that.
appreciate it.
You know,
Appreciate it. Yeah,
well,
football was
well,
my love, man. Basically, the reason why I played it was the same reason you just said. I didn't want
hmm
to punish people.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Brother, man, Damon, what's going on with you, man? How your day was? I know you got
Over,
jumped by the grandbaby.
over here struggling because I ain't hear the first. I ain't know what y'all was saying, man. I couldn't hear anything. But I'm good. Y'all coming in though. And what was
Okay,
you talking about me getting pimped by who?
the grandbaby.
Oh man, come on, dog. You know that. I had everything ready.
Yeah.
If I didn't, it was gonna be a bad day for both of us. So, but no,
You
man.
said she walking.
With expectation, yeah.
She walking.
You know.
She walking. She walking the house and looking in the refrigerator and snatch the remote out of his hand. Like, give me all of this.
taking over.
You're definitely right about the remote. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I had a good day, man. Did some house cleaning and stuff like that, man. And
hmm
got that out the way, so I feel good about that. Other than that, man, I'm just chilling, waiting to see to kick it with y'all.
Definitely, definitely, man. Like we said before, man, this is our sports edition. Uh, and we've had several sports shows before. And as y'all know, I'm not a sports guy. So, what's uh, what's
Me
what's
either,
what's going
cuz.
on? What's going on currently? Can y'all talk about it, Carson? What's going on in the sports world, bro?
Not much. I haven't been paying attention to sports really, like basketball,
Mm,
because basketball is the only sport I really watch. You know, so
mm,
nothing been going on really.
mm.
Well, suffice it to say, y'all ain't baseball fans, because that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm not a baseball fan.
You know,
Mhm.
so summers is usually dry, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a baseball T-shirt fan. That's like all the Detroit teams I got is like Tiger shirts, man. I love the Tiger colors and all that. So
So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
hmm
Yeah.
Loud and clear. Okay. Now, I
let me
done jerry rigged this situation until the right chord comes.
mhm.
So,
let me
um,
ask you this, Keith. I'm sorry to
yes.
cut you off, brother. I know you're in and out, but uh, did you record any of the introduction that we had? Because the guys
No, we
might need
didn't.
to. Oh wow,
No, we
you
didn't.
guys.
That's what I'm about to tell you guys because
Yep. Went out again.
he's out again.
Hmm.
Rigging didn't work.
Yeah, well, yeah, we gonna keep the ball rolling, fellas.
Yeah.
Keith usually.
Keith might need to go get some aluminum foil.
Or a hanger.
Look, yeah. Whatever y'all do, y'all better not let him hear y'all say that because he gonna get mad at y'all like he got mad with me.
You know, aluminum foil used to fix everything back in the day.
Or go upstairs with Karson. Y'all have a double screen.
Right.
First of all, I hear all that talk. First of all, secondly,
Froze again.
Yeah.
Look, he can't even tell us off.
This is a good conversation with Keith.
Karson, tell your dad to come upstairs with you, sit next to you.
hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Jaquarius, look, before I go out again, go to the questions and start with the second one. Then by the time that we get through everybody,
I'm sorry, y'all. I got to find the questions now.
The second one is, can you give us your feelings about old school basketball versus new school basketball?
Yeah.
That was the second
Mike,
question.
Yeah. Like as far as perspective, man. Let me say this real quick. Old school basketball for me, man, was blue collar. It was definitely blue collar. I think it probably was for everybody except Karson. I mean, you know, it was. When I was a fan of the Pistons, I still am a fan of the Pistons. I just don't know who's on the roster. But when I was actively watching, you know, guys like Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer he feared nobody. He knew he was going to take losses when he got into altercations. You know, John Sally. John Sally was a smooth, tall, big man. You know, but he was effective. Rick Mahorn was a goon. You know, and that's the area of basketball that, you know, I grew up with and I respected. You know, and not that I don't have respect for today's basketball, but I could have pictured myself, you know, in the games actually back then. Like nowadays, they run too much, man, and everybody got an above the rim game.
You're right.
You know,
first of all,
I can't even jump 3 pieces of paper high, man. So I wouldn't last.
hey, Jaquar, you must have never seen me play, man. You say they run too much. I used to sprint. I used to sprint up and down the court deep. Look.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with Keith. We had a running team. That's how we won a lot of our games, because we just outran our opponents. So, yeah.
You know,
we were small. We wasn't a big team. So,
you know, I was 325 pounds out there. So,
yeah.
You know. So it was all bad and hard for me. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, yeah, I think the old school basketball was more not full court, but half court offense and defense. Whereas nowadays, you know, like you said, up and down, because it's an offensive game, what they wanted. When me and Keith played in college, we didn't even have the 3-point line. He wasn't even there when we played in college. And so everybody was more of a jump shooter inside the paint and everything like that. So now it's more open. And I mean, everybody like some people like the open style, some like the half court style defense. So it all depends on what you prefer.
I think that for me, I think nowadays everybody on the court is an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody has high verticals. You know, ball handling skills, all that across the board. Whereas back in the day, you had your specialists. You know, guys that score, guys that play defense, guys that rebound, and everybody else was just pretty much out there. You know, to give the starters rest, or you know what I'm saying. But now the athletes today, you got cats 6'10" running point guard, man. That is crazy.
Right. Yeah.
What
That's
they call it,
crazy.
positionless
Yeah.
basketball now.
When they go to point forward, point center, all that, man. That was unheard of back in the day.
Right.
The data, the specific skill set has been dead for 10 years, man. I mean, it's changed. The game's changed so much, man. Sports have changed so much, man. Like it's a funny thing that my wife knows more about the rules in football than I do. I don't even know what all the rules in football are, man, no more. I used to be a
Are you talking
football
about
scholar.
they changed it?
All the new rules, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Whenever we sitting up watching the game, and I got to look at her to find out what a call is. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, man.
Wow. I think. I think that they're more athletic. When we were athletic, but these guys, man, because you can't be physical. You can't touch them. No light fouls. You can't hand check. You can't. So it's all skill. You got to be able to stay in front of somebody. Whereas, back in the day, you can push somebody towards the middle.
Hand checking.
Yeah, push them towards the edge so you can double team. Yeah. No, man, you got to stay in front of them. That's why they're scoring 145 points a game.
Yeah,
is it really defense? Just up and down.
Like you said, they took out the physicalness of it, because back then when I played, you was definitely getting the elbow to the gut or something.
Oh man,
that was Keith.
Right?
See, his position is gone now. I mean, Keith would adjust it. He would have to start learn how to shoot threes and more of that. You would adjust it, right, Keith?
I think mostly what it was about is, and this is my theory, really, man, to be honest with you, is it was a knee-jerk situation where the Europeans started drafting Europeans to come over here, right? And their big men were highly skilled,
right?
In which they could shoot a three, they could pass, they could dribble. I'm talking about the big bulky guys, not the slim guys, but the big bulky guys, right?
Well, Dirk Nowitzki, that's what you
shoot. Yeah, exactly. And then what ended up happening was
you had Dirk Nowitzki who would shoot threes. He was 6'11".
Well, they developed the stretch forward. You know what I'm saying? Where he does everything, but he's positionless, and basically what it is everybody's facing the basket now.
Mm.
Now y'all know I could face the basket. I could do those things, right? But I was about being a bruiser, playing D because I wanted to win. That's what I wanted to do. So I did it. I was brainwashed. I was brainwashed.
Yeah, personally, man, when I was on the court, I had no interest in scoring, man. That's the court is where I developed my goon mentality. I was out there. I'm not a dirty player, man, but just aggressive. And I don't. My style would not have. It wouldn't last nowadays. Because I was.
It does. Draymond, in the professional level, Draymond. Yeah. I mean, that's how he got his $100 million. Karson, what do you think?
Yeah, what's your perspective, Karson? You probably watched old videos of Detroit Pistons and Jordan. Do you like that basketball, or you like what's going on now?
I like new school better because it's like a more different skill set than what it was like in the old school. Like old school, they'll just give two simple moves just to score. And nowadays you have to do multiple combos and moves just to get past someone or score over them. And I think it takes more skill in the new school than the old school, in my opinion.
I mean, that's a good point, man. But see, you gotta take into consideration this. Somebody said it earlier. This is when I was blanking out. Somebody said it earlier where the game has been changed to entertain. So
Right.
these guys are sitting here. They help the defense a lot by going into a zone. They let the NBA do the zone stuff. We're speaking mostly NBA, really. But the guy is sitting there, and people are watching him make a move. You see it. Now,
Yeah.
anybody comment? What do y'all think? Does it seem like they're watching people make moves?
You know what's crazy to me is as I watch it, when I see all the going through your legs and stuff like that, and all the moves they be making, and I'd be like, I'd be tripping because I'm like, angles, man. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just know the angles and cut them off.
Right.
You know, I used to love when cats be out there dribbling and doing all that stuff, and I'd just be sitting there like, as soon as you make a move, man, I'm just gonna cut you off.
Right.
You know, unless you pull up a J or whatever. But yeah, it's like they do be watching them.
But it's also about getting the oohs and the ahs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
James Harden, he does all that. He's already been past the guy, but he still wants to mess with him because the crowd is going, ooh. You know,
Yeah.
that's what it is. People making more moves just to get the oohs and the ahs.
Now, if you got a tight crossover, then you can get past somebody. If you got a tight crossover, that real tight one, when you get close up on them. But if you in front of me, man, and you think I'm finna reach for the ball so you can go by, that ain't happening, man.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's old school, knowing the angles. Man, you got two places to go. You gonna stay out there or you gonna go to the rim. All I gotta do is to keep you from going to the rim, man.
Right.
All that other stuff you doing, I ain't trying to do that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And plus, old school, man, like when they be putting up them jumpers, how many jumpers you gonna put up, man, if you done had your hand? I'm gonna give you 2 fouls. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you 2 fouls off rip. You go over the jumper, I'm hitting them hands. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, your hand part of the ball, man. Your hand is part of the ball. Now, these cats, you bump them. They falling all out and flopping and all that. And I'm like, oh my God. To me, it's embarrassing, man. You know, because they make it, I guess it's like a skit.
Right.
Am I making sense?
No, yeah.
It's
It's dramatic.
They try to have they try to have all-star games during the regular season. They try to have all-star games for every game. And I
Right.
know, I mean, yeah, you're a professional ball player, man, and you want to look good and you want to be spectacular or whatever, man. But the ultimate goal is to win. Do we have is there still a concept of a role player nowadays?
Not at all.
I
Not at
don't
all.
think there is. I don't think there is.
No.
JB, you
Got
said. I mean, you said yourself. I mean, the center position doesn't even exist anymore.
No.
Right.
And when they started to bring all those European players over, it has several effects on the league. I mean, they first and foremost, I believe, when they started to draft, what's his name, the guy from the east, he's from an Eastern Bloc country, and he's
Sabonis.
Tony Kukoc.
Oh,
When Tony Kukoc got drafted to the Detroit Pistons, they were trying to change the face of the Detroit Pistons. I believe that.
You talking about the Bulls?
No, the Bulls, man. Not the Pistons.
Yeah, I told you I'm not a sports guy. But when he got drafted, who did he get drafted over?
Kukos?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did he get traded to the Bulls or did he get drafted by the Bulls?
He got drafted.
Got drafted by.
Yeah, because you remember when Scotty and Mike gave him the business in the what was that? It wasn't the Olympics. It was
the
Yeah,
the
Olympics.
Olympics? Yeah. Yeah, they gave him the business.
Shut him down.
Yeah.
but let me ask you guys a question. Aren't the European players they are fundamentally sound, man? They, even though they might shoot more threes, they could play with their back to the basket. They could do everything, man. What we used to do. Now it seems like we don't do that anymore, but they do.
Well, it changed from when we started the and one videos.
You think that's where it came from, John?
That's when it changed. We just wanted, like I just talked about earlier, we wanted to get the oohs and the ahs. What was and one? That's all that was.
Yeah. And
People
plus,
jump on the court when somebody make a move. Everybody run on the court.
Right.
You know.
And plus, I think they had years to practice because they wanted to make it to the NBA. They didn't want to play overseas constantly, so they tightened their game up. You know, as far as
and they become professionals early too.
Yeah.
Like what's the Doncic?
Luka.
He was playing
Luka
at 14, wasn't he? Didn't he start at 14? Something like
Most
that.
of them start like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that guy Wembley that's over here now. He's been playing professional for his whole career.
Wembley.
What's his name? Is it the 7'4" guy? Bamba or something?
Is that the new kid that just?
He's been playing. He's been playing professionally since he was in high school.
All right, with my old heads on it, do he remind you of Ralph Sampson or not, man? Because he reminds me of Ralph Sampson. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean,
this guy got more skills.
Yeah.
No, he got more skills, but my thing is, like, I like Draymond. I respect his game. I like his work ethic. I love that shit. He's homeboy, right? But if it wasn't for his motor and his leadership, what does Draymond have? Man? You know what I'm saying? He got a heart and he goes hard, but skill-wise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say he got the closest game to old school style game than any player in the NBA.
I was just about to say that. I mean, you know, it's becoming an anomaly. A physical player is becoming an anomaly. We're talking about Draymond Green here. He ain't no goon. He's the roughest guy in the league, though. One of the roughest guys in the league. But by old school standards, you know, he was regular.
I'm thinking
that was the game back then.
I'm thinking that first run, Draymond was killing. You know, the first couple of championships. He used to average about at least 18, something like that.
Yeah, he played better earlier.
Yeah, but then he started, you know, facilitating.
The one that the Cleveland Cavaliers came back from 3-1. That man was averaging like 25, 26 points a game, 9 rebounds. And his dumb ass did. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call him dumb. No, but you look, the whole year, now think about it. He was setting himself up for it, man. He hit Steven Adams that whole year. He hit Steven Adams in his nuts 3 times. Right? And then when you were in the championship series, you hit LeBron. Whatever you did, what did he do to LeBron? Did he kick him? He did something to LeBron.
Yeah, called him B word.
No, not that. Not that. Did he hit him between his legs? It was something. And remember, he got suspended for that one game.
No, he got a technical. He already had over the limit of technical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got the tech because he did something to LeBron, like he hit him, that put him over, and he got suspended for the one game because he was doing that kind of stuff. They was getting ready to sweep him. No, that was going to be 4-1. That's what
3. Yeah. It was 3-1.
It was going to be 4-1.
But my argument is That's old school basketball. You know, what did Rick Horn do during the playoffs?
Hold on.
What did Dennis Rodman do during the
Quiet.
playoffs? They harass people.
Quiet.
They hit
talking.
people in the nuts.
No,
Man.
first of all, you talking to basketball players here in them old days. If somebody hit y'all in the nuts, somebody tell me. What
We
would
fighting,
you
man.
do?
Oh,
We
fighting.
fighting.
We
Yeah,
That's gonna be a fight right there, off rip.
That's crossing the line. That for real, that's crossing the line.
Yeah.
Hey, look, and I'm gonna hold you down till I recover.
Well, I don't.
For real.
Oh yeah, and you know, just a little disclaimer, man. You know, I'm not keen on going out and hitting dudes in the nuts. It was just an example.
Man, look here. Both teams be talking about, man, we got to get him off the court, man. He out here doing that kind of shit. But you got to go, bro.
Okay, well, let me ask Karson this, man. Then we'll move on to the next question, right? Karson, you hear us talking about how physical it was when we played, right? Could you imagine? And you know how I try to teach you. How I try to teach you to be more offensive, not offensive scoring wise, but offensive meaning initiating contact. Do you feel comfortable in playing that way, or would you rather stay on the outside, beat somebody off a dribble? You know what I mean? The way you guys play now. What do you feel comfortable with the physical play? And be honest now.
I mean, it really depends how the dude is guarding me. Like, if he like stand in a certain way, I can either beat him by the dribble, or if he's just like right in front of me and like harassing me, I can just post him up. If he's like weaker than me or not stronger than me.
You know, because I always emphasize, and guys, I'm making a point when I ask them this. I always emphasize when you're driving to the basket to put your shoulder in the middle of that man's chest, right? Not run him over, but put him in the middle of his chest as he's running. And JB, you were the two guys, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Initiating the contact until you're ready to shoot.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I was showing you that today. Were you comfortable with that?
Mm-hmm. It gave me more room to score. Gave me more opportunity to score. Like getting the man off me.
Okay. Okay. I get it. Jeff,
Sir.
your sons are athletes, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, did it change the way, because we talked about it the other night. You said, Keith, I play sports, I'm not a sports person. But watching your sons play,
Mm-hmm.
watching them play, how did you communicate with them? How did you exactly what did you try to give them as far as wisdom is concerned?
Well, with my mentality, I was always teaching my sons the physical aspects of the game. So I was always telling them to be tough, always, rough your guy up a little bit if you have to. If it's basketball, if it's football, or whatever sport you're playing, rough him up because it's an intimidation factor. That's what I always taught them. Intimidate the opponent. Now you got the upper hand. Basically, that was always what I taught my kids. Zach was always a physical down low player, just like me, and he was in there bumping with guys bigger than him. He's 6'5", but he always had to play against guys that was 6'10", sometimes even taller, because he had that jumping ability, like his dad. I had to do the same thing. I was only 6'3", but I'm jumping center with 6'10s, because of my jumping abilities.
Yeah.
But we had to be physical because we weren't as big as the other guys. So that was always my method, is to be more physical than the other guy.
JB, your daughters, did they play any sports?
No, just for a little bit. And then they got out of it. They thought that's what I wanted them to do. That wasn't what their passion was. So they got into other things. My one daughter's into computers. The other one's in the healthcare business. So
I don't have daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And both my brothers tell me that their daughters speak plain business to them. They don't beat around the bush like my sons do. You know what I'm saying? Did you have a conversation like that with your daughter?
I was like, nah, I didn't want you to, you do what you want to do. Yeah. But when something is somebody's passion, if they're going to be, good at it or whatever, they'll like to go to practice or like to work on their game or whatever. That's when somebody likes it. When you complain about going, that ain't the right sport.
Yeah. Damon, what about your children?
Man, my girls, man, they played basketball, track and basketball, but they did it because they enjoyed just playing, stuff like that. And we learned that early, man, because I used to be in the stands. And my girls be like, man, my dad, man, now I want you to stay calm, man. It's just a game. And I'm like, I'm cool. As soon as the game started going in that mode, man, I'm yelling from the bench. And I got other parents sitting over next to me talking about, it's just a game. Morgan, you're doing just fine. and I look over there and I'm like, hey, that's my child, you understand? It was that kind of thing happening with me, man. So eventually they was like, hey, man, I'm just going to focus on school, man, because
So what about your son Cameron?
Cameron, he did some track in college, throwing the shot put in the distance and stuff like that, but he got interested later, but he did his thing too. I didn't really push it.
My daughter, she was a 3-sport athlete, man. Volleyball, basketball, and track. But volleyball and basketball were during the same time, I believe. So she switched off back and forth. But we always had her in like AAU. Always had her around basketball, to keep her active and everything, man. But it was kind of disheartening because, I'm 6'7", right? And she was a pretty tall girl. During AAU, when the parents would see us walk in, and they hadn't seen her play, they looking at her and they looking at me. They like, yeah, all right, he done taught us something. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. She was a girly girl, so when the ball was passed to her, everybody knew something was up when she would be like, ah! That happened. That happened. So I learned early. That she wasn't interested in sports like that. I really wanted to get her into like karate or boxing or something like that. But she was a girly girl. But she was there. She never missed a practice. She never complained about her playing time or anything like that. As far as athletic integrity, she did the best she could. Every time she stepped on whatever course she was stepping on, she wasn't as successful, but she was there. And I seen that trait, and that's what I tried to encourage.
Karson, so what do you think as far as me and your mother, do you think we were supportive of your basketball aspirations and dreams, or how do you feel? I mean, do you think, Dad, you're an asshole as a coach? I mean, what exactly? Which I am. Everybody know I am, but
Yes,
I'm an
yes.
asshole
Real qu-
and a teacher at the.
You froze on that point.
at the
At the
core, yeah,
same time. Yeah.
yeah. Real quick,
You
just like I said about my cousin Jeff, making the first live touchdown I ever seen. Keith was my first coach, and he absolutely made me understand that you don't have to like your coach, for him to make you better.
That's true.
Because he was at Pitt, and it was a summer day, and I told him I wanted to play basketball, so we went out to the driveway, and he was gonna put me through some drills, and he was hard on me, and he told me, "Hey man, coaches ain't supposed, if your coach like you, that's the cherry on top, man. But it's not his job to like you; it's his job to make you better." You know. So after I bitched and moaned and whined and shit, and went back in the house or whatever, and I could see he was disappointed, but I realized, hell, we had only been out there for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, is this what sports is gonna be? So it was a make or break moment for me, man. And I decided, man, that I wasn't never gonna let another man work me harder than I worked myself.
That's real.
So
Hey, Carson,
it was
go ahead and tell the
it
truth.
it was worth
Hey, Karson, it's on you,
Tell the
man.
truth, man. Always yelling, man. Grumpy as hell out there, mad at the world. Come on, man.
Hey, Fluke, let him answer, man. Let him answer.
Go ahead, tell the truth.
You like that a little bit, but as I got older, I realized that I needed to get yelled at in order for me to become more motivated and become better at what I got to do in order to be at at a point I want to be in my career and like playing basketball.
I think that what I try to point out to people is this: I really truly believe I'm an asshole and a teacher at the same time, because if you hear what I'm saying to you, my energy is high and I'm yelling, but I'm telling you exactly not what to do, but how to do it.
How about this, Keith? Did you like that when somebody coached you like that?
Huh?
Did you like it when somebody coached you like that?
Yeah. Man, that's so. Come
Yeah.
on, man. We old
I'm
school. That's all we ever ran into. Stop that.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
be
just don't know if
honest.
you liked it though. I didn't know if you,
No, no, no.
liked it or not.
It's not the like.
Well, did you
No,
learn that way? Did you learn that way, or you learned another way?
I definitely didn't like it.
Damn
'Cause
right.
I had a football coach. I played defensive back, and I had a football coach. This guy gave no compliments. He did nothing but say bad things about you. And I knew that I was a hell of an athlete, but to him, it's like, why this dude don't like me? Why this dude won't put me where I should be? Because I'm a freshman. I was a freshman, and I'm like, I should be starting. My athletic abilities is way better than everybody else. But this guy would not let you know that. In no way, no how. All he did was push, push, push. So I didn't like it, but it did make me better.
So,
There's
did you
always been a
finish?
phenomenon with white coaches, man.
Hold on
I'm
for
sorry.
1 second, Jaquar. Hold your thought. Jaquar, Carson, did you finish your thought, brother? Because I know I cut you off. Did you finish your thought?
Hmm?
Okay. Jaquar, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But there's always been, and we've all had white coaches. There's always been a phenomenon with white coaches where and this is just a personal observation, man. That a white coach will, you know, especially with young black men, they'll try to break them. They'll put them in situations, man, where yeah, they don't have anything positive to say because this young man thinks a little bit too highly of himself. Has anybody ever experienced that? No. I got one better for you. Do any of you think that you could have played for Bobby Knight?
Yeah.
Hell no. No. No.
I don't think I could.
It ain't nothing but. Granted, he was a winner, but his tactics, his technique. Come on, man.
No.
That's from the military because he came from the West Point.
Yeah.
That's the way. Krzyzewski's the same way from Duke. He went to the.
But that's the whole point. Which both of y'all great points, and I understand, Fluke, why you wouldn't play for him. But see what I said earlier. I sift through. If this man know what the hell he talking about, now you call me out my name and all that. Now we're gonna have to have a conversation, and if you feel you don't want to change that, then I got to bounce because I'll be choking the life out your ass if I don't bounce. You feel what I'm saying? But if it's one of them kind of things where he raises the expectation of you during the game, even if it's not reasonable, it's unreasonable. He raises that expectation. You know what I mean? See, I like that. I like the fact that because you challenging yourself.
A lot of times you don't realize that till you get older.
That's
what
real.
the coach was doing.
That's real.
When you're that age, you're like, nah. You realize it now. That's what he was doing. But in the moment, you ain't realizing that.
No, hell no. You're not.
Listen. Listen, I mean, people respond how they respond, man. I'm not gonna have nobody sitting up there yelling at me, man. You know what I'm saying? What is that? You know, say you try to, especially doing the, if I'm not playing right, then yank me. You know what I'm saying? And guess what yanking me is gonna do? Hey, coach, what I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Then I can learn better that way, man. You ain't gonna be up in my face yelling and shit, man, and spitting and all that. I'm like, dude, you lost me. You feel what I'm saying?
Man.
You lost me when you started that drama.
You make a great point, but if
yeah, for me, man, it wasn't a practice unless somebody was calling me a big dumb son of a bitch, and that motivated me, man.
Oh,
see, the thing is, the thing is, and I never gave the coaches any pushback. But what I did is I kicked their favorites' ass.
Right.
Kicked their ass.
You're the same way as me, cuz.
Yeah. Somebody got to pay for my mood here.
Somebody got to take it out on somebody.
Yeah.
And there was no, for me, there was no such thing as a contactless practice. Okay.
Right.
And I always with like the demo teams and everything. I went both ways, but I like offensive demo, defensive demo teams. I'm there and I'm hitting the quarterback. And I'm getting screamed on, and I'm getting called a big dumb son of a bitch, and I'm looking at the coach, and I'm saying, hey, if he can't take it, get him off my field, coach. This is my shit. This is my shit.
I mean,
it's
a mentality, man. It's a mentality. Like me and JB was teammates for 4 years, and the thing about it was, and I said this to you guys last night. I played out of position for 4 years, man. For 4 years, I played at the center position at 6'9", playing against 7-footers, 6'10" guys. But guess what? I was on the floor. Am I complaining about that? Hell no. And my feelings were kind of way when you made a promise that I would not sat up there in front of my mother and father and told me that All I had to do was play the center for 1 year. Then they're going to bring in big guys, and you'll be a power forward. But you got to be reasonable. You're on that. Okay, let's. I like being on the floor. Yeah, I'm playing against Patrick Ewing. I'm playing against Bill Winnington. I'm playing against Otis Thorpe and all these. You know what I'm saying?
But you wanted to be on the floor to play. If that's the way you got to play. It's what you got to play.
Everything, every single thing I can to stay on that floor. Let me do this. Let me acknowledge everybody who clicked in on us, and then Jaquari. We're gonna go into your segment because we usually do, but you know all the hanky things been happening with this internet with me today. I take full responsibility. My shit was fucked up today. You know.
Hell yeah, we saw it on display, brother.
Yes, sir. But let me acknowledge Clyde Vaughn.
Clyde
What's up,
Glide.
How you doing, baby?
Now, Clyde.
Congratulations, Clyde Vaughn is going into the Pittsburgh Sports Hall of Fame September 22nd, everybody. Congratulations to that man.
When I was saying earlier how we didn't have a 3-point line, Clyde shot every shot he had was a 3-pointer.
It was a 3-point,
like
every
Steph
shot
Curry,
and it was a line drive. Wasn't it a line drive, JB?
But he shot from the logo, as they say now, from the logo. All the Clyde shots were like that, but they only counted as 2.
KJ Jones, how you doing, bro? You're in Hawaii, you know. I believe it's your anniversary. Happy anniversary to you. He said, "What up, John Blanton?"
KJ.
You know what I mean? Look, y'all was floor mates back in the day. and look, another legend.
That's a legend. That's what we got to have on, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer, we want you to come on for real.
Jennifer, all-time leading scorer.
Come on, the all-time leading scorer. Oh, she was the truth too. She was the truth. And then had the nerve to look real good too. But it is what it is. Jaquari, it's on you, brother. It's time for your segment.
All right. Uncle Spoke say, man. Uncle Spoke say. I want to present something to you guys. Since this is a sports show, I've asked before, why do we have so much respect for a guy that can take a punch? And what it boils down to for me is passion versus skill. You know, two very important things, man. Two of the most important things, you know, in regards to athletics. You know, I think a third would be intelligence, but passion versus skill, man. I mean, you can't teach passion. You can't teach passion, man. And you know, as a community, man, I think that's one of the things that we have in abundance, man. You know, skill set, man, comes, you know, through, you know, years of practice, man, years of honing particular things, man. But if you don't have the desire to be there, you know, no matter what the sport is, no matter what your job is, no matter what your interactions with people is, if you don't have the desire to be there, man, it's not going to work out well for you. You know, on the other hand, you have, you know, skill set. Skill set in a lot of ventures, man, is a lot more successful than passion because, you know, skill set is you know, basic rules to success. That's what I believe. You know, if you can figure out a way, man, to blend the two, you know, which almost usually never happens. But if you can find that perfect blend, man, you know, and have it carry over not only on the field or on the court or anything like that, you know, but you know, in the office at home, man, that worker mentality, man, that dogged that dogged fight for success. If you could work that into every aspect of your life, man, think about how much more successful you would be. You know, just as a person. You know, a lot of the lessons I learned, you know, on the field and on the court years ago, man. I'm just now coming to realize it, their meanings. It doesn't take much to work hard. Doesn't take much to work hard, man. It all depends on who you are, man, and how you choose to represent yourself. It's just a thought from Uncle Spoke, man. Some rambling. That's it.
Okay. Jennifer shot you a little question. You see it on the screen, Jaquari?
See,
You want to
disagree.
address it?
Why not try to teach passion? Some don't know to be passionate. Keep teaching anything and everything that has to do with a sport. Well, I mean, okay. I mean, in some cases, yeah, you could probably, reinforce, some aspects of passion, but you can't replicate that. And in order to teach it, you have to replicate it. I can't want, as an individual, I can't want, a specific goal for anybody else. If we're not all of one mindset, if we all don't possess the passion, to reach that mindset, then what good is the venture? I mean, but as far as teaching passion goes, I don't know how you do that. I mean, passion can be infectious. It can definitely be infectious, but as far as something that you can teach, I don't know if that could happen.
I mean,
I hope that answers
different
it.
levels. There's different levels.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm gonna let you go. I think you get ready to say the same thing with this comment Jennifer just said. But go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, there's different levels of passion. I mean, you don't have the love for the game. It's really kind of hard to have the passion for it, and like I said, some people, they love the game, but they don't really have that passion enough to progress, like others who have the passion for the game. So, I mean, that's what I wanted to say, because I done seen some guys who had basically zero talent, but they had the passion for the game. So they worked their butt off, even though it really didn't help the team very much. But I gave them all that respect because they had the passion for the game, that they would basically go out and hurt themselves because they love the game so much. So, yeah, I can understand both sides, but it is kind of hard to teach passion because everybody isn't in the game as much as someone who loves the game.
Well, I think you can. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
Go
I
ahead.
think you can teach passion. Just example, basketball. So maybe you're not a good jump shooter because no one's really taught you how to shoot a jump shot, and you didn't like it. So that made you not like the sport. And then another coach came by, showed you the proper form, showed you how to do it, and you started having success with it. Then you start enjoying the game. Then you're getting more passion with the game because you're getting better at it. So it's just like anything else. You can teach that, or you got to find your right sport or right job or right something. Like you might have had a job before that you really liked and you worked harder and you did better at that job, or you might have had a job you didn't like and you're like, I don't like this job. You might not, human nature, you thought you were working hard, but you might not have been working hard because you didn't really enjoy that job, or you might not enjoy that sport. You might have passion for basketball. You might not have passion for football or golf or something like that. So I think unless somebody might properly coach you and teach you and show you, then you might get passionate because you're having more success at it. Once you have more success, I think you get more passionate.
Well, let me say this. Let me ask you guys this: who do you think was more passionate, LeBron James or Allen Iverson?
I would go with Iverson.
You have to ask them.
No, not LeBron James. Kobe Bryant. My bad. Kobe Bryant or Allen Iverson. Who was more passionate?
I think Kobe was more passionate, borderline obsessive, because
Right.
he wanted to be great. AI didn't want to be great. He wanted to express himself. That's my opinion.
Well, no, I
AI had
Well,
I think AI wanted
was
to
he
be great. I think he just did it a different
I'm
way
saying.
than somebody else did.
Mhm.
He had the same passion as Kobe. He was nothing but championships. That's all Iverson wanted to do was win. He took the
But I
team
question.
on his shoulders and was getting to the playoffs and everything by himself. So that was passion. Some people do it a different way. So I don't know.
I agree with
Yeah.
Keith on the Kobe thing. Is Kobe was obsessed. I mean, he wanted everything perfection. Iverson was natural, and because he was a natural, and because he knew that nobody could stop him, that was a whole different type of passion. But yeah, I would give it. I would say Kobe had the most passion, though, out of all of them.
I would say that Kobe let his passion sharpen his skill sets.
Yeah,
That's what I would say. Because I
Man,
mean,
but that,
and the reason why I use them as examples is because Allen Iverson, he wouldn't even go to practice sometimes.
right. He was a natural.
Right.
but the thing about it though, they said when he went to practice, he outworked everybody.
Yeah,
You
that's
see what I'm
just
saying?
that's just like Antonio Brown on the Steelers.
I mean,
He didn't practice or nothing, but he get on the field, he dominate.
But see, that's the thing about that's what they said about AI was is sometimes for whatever reason he didn't come to practice whatever he did, but when he came there, he was the best in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't think I'm disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is somebody said it earlier. I think it was either John or Jeff that is different. There's different versions of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Karson, what do you think passion of the game is? And then Fluke, after he's done, we want you to chime in.
Well, I think passion is just loving the game as much as you can and doing everything to work at what you're trying to do for the game. You have to try your best even though if you're tired, you're hurt, you're sick, you're anything, you just try your hardest to and work harder than everybody else on the floor and no excuses or anything. You have to work 24/7. Every hour counts to what you're trying to do and towards your goal.
Okay. Fluke. Hold on. You on mute, bro.
Oh shit.
All right, you good.
Pretty much what Carson just said. When I think about cats that's passionate about the game, I think about Kobe. I think about LeBron James. I mean, this dude spent millions of dollars to stay in shape. That's being passionate about the game. Man. Whereas
Good point.
a lot of cats, they go out there, they passionate about making a football team or a basketball team, but once they get in, they're just doing the job. But you can see the ones that's passionate about it because they stand out. They stand out and they become franchise players.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this. So let me just say this because Jennifer, we appreciate the different things that you said, the different questions that you said. I'm going to use you as an example. When I came to Pitt, people talked about your ability, how you were the basketball player, and you, Clive Vaughn, and different guys that I played with, and yourself. What I wonder when it came to the elite, because I consider myself elite, right? But I was an elite when it came to physical ability, right? That's one level of elite. Where me, I was 6'9", 240, strong, fast, and just intelligent with it. So I was elite when it came to that. But then the next level is taking that elite and being selfish enough to make yourself great. See, that's the thing about it is, and I speak personally when I say it, my greatness came with the way that I would move my body and accomplish the things that I accomplished, right? But then there's that next level where you use those skills and then you hone it to break records, to do things, to stay disciplined enough where you achieve a goal that nobody else has done, right? So I'm asking you guys, and I believe each and every one of you on the screen was able to achieve that in some facet of your life. How much, I'm gonna start with you, JB, how much do you think it takes to become elite in something?
Well, everything is practice. What you do, if you're not a natural or something like that, I think if you practice and try to work hard and learn your craft and watch what other people do as well. And that's how you gather information. And because Kobe, he got all his stuff from Jordan. He was Jordan 2.0. He learned everything from Jordan.
Okay.
And so as I said, if you can always watch somebody else, see what they do, and take a little bit of that and a little bit of this from somebody else and work at it.
Okay. Karson, what do you think it takes for you to become elite at something? And then Jeff, you can chime in after he's done.
It takes, me personally, I think it takes your all the talent that you have built inside you. It just takes everything that you practice and that you've done for like the love of the game and like the passion for the game, and how like if you work at something, you're gonna like put your all into it, not just like 110% into the game.
Okay. Jeff.
Okay. I agree with Carson. Compassion is a big thing because that was my mentality. Football was everything for me, um, and every day was a day to improve for me. Um, if I seen an athlete on the field, let it be college, high school, whatever, um, and he looked like he did something better than me, that next day, that was my goal to get better and to outshine him. And that's what made me the better football player. And I could see my improvement as time went on because I kept a good eye on everybody. I watched everybody's ability. I watched what they could do that I thought was better than me, and I improved on mine. And that's what elevated me. So that would be my thoughts on that.
Jaquar.
Let's see. What do I think it would take for me to become? Well, for me, it was quite honestly, man, it was extreme selfishness, man. When I was doing my thing, I had to be at a certain level. I wanted to be talked about in certain circles. I wanted to be admired, man. And for me, it took hard work, man. It took me doing things that nobody, like my cousin Jeff just said. He kept his eye on everybody. I did too, man, and I did the things that people didn't want to do. I was the first there, and I was the last to leave every day. You know, if I didn't possess the proper skill set, the people who were responsible for putting us in play or whatever, they knew I was a worker, man. And that's the role that I've carried over, into my adult life. I've always been a worker, you know, uh, and I think that's where your elitism comes from. Is that a word? Elitism? No, I think that's what
It
makes you
is
elite,
today.
man.
No.
It is right. It is today.
Yeah, I think that's what makes you elite, man. Doing the things that are going to make you better, but nobody else is doing.
Okay. Damon.
Well, for me, have I ever pushed myself to excellence? I don't think I ever did, man. To be honest with you. As I was sitting up here listening to the question, trying to come up with something, I pretty much, if I'm being honest with myself, I pretty much played sports because before that I was invisible, man. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't noticed or any of that. So when I discovered that I had some athletic skills, I put them to use. And then all of a sudden, people started noticing who I was. I wasn't just the brother of Keith Armstrong or the cousin of Jeff Williams. I made my own name. And I had some hard shoes to follow. I admit that, but for me, it was that I did not want to be that guy. Like our family, we are athletic family, and I didn't want to be that guy who wasn't. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that guy who wasn't. So that's what I did. If I'd have worked on my game, it would have been a different thing. I would imagine, but I didn't even do it in college, man. As soon as the season was over, I was done. I was done, and then I got back in shape when the season came back around. I wish I'd have did. In retrospect, I wish I'd did it different. But at the time, man, that's how it was for me.
Well, this is one of the questions I usually answer at least one question during our
Hey.
episodes, and this is the one that I choose.
Hold on. Hey, man, I'm about to take up. I gotta get to this pharmacy, man.
We got you, bro.
All right, man.
All right.
It was good
All right,
being on here with you guys, man. Love y'all, and we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Peace.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
But I'll be honest with you. When it comes to and really, I'm thinking about the question that I asked, man. When it comes to exactly what it is, I understand that each and every one of us have their different versions of it. Me personally, I knew God blessed me with the physical ability to be a certain type of person. This is what it was, right? And we talked about it last night. I never wanted any problems. I never wanted to be, always love peace, right? But what I ended up doing was because when you're quiet, people find a reason to reject you. Even if you've done nothing wrong to be rejected, or to be ignored. People find a reason because they look for the most flamboyant, the most, the most colorful thing. And me personally, I was 6'9", strong, the whole nine, but I wasn't loud.
Quiet.
And the thing about it was, I was quiet because, Jay, to your point, because I knew exactly what kind of dude I was. Period. When I got pressed, when it was time to get for action, I knew what I would do. Right. So what I always wanted to do was to succeed, to win. So I always ran into people who always wanted to doubt me because they didn't know no better. It ain't because they didn't like me. It ain't because I felt like, the world was against me. No, they didn't know who I was because I wasn't trying to promote that. But when it came down to it, what I wanted to do was be the very best human being I could possibly be. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Because my life before I became elite in sports, it was a hard life, but I made it through. Just like everybody on the screen. We're making it through. We're succeeding when sometimes I feel like we're behind the 8 ball, right? But I made it through. When I was at Pitt, man, JB will tell you, I was going through some unnecessary stuff, right? But the only people I complained to was John, Daryl Shepard, and Demetrius Gore. That's it.
We were your psychiatrists.
That was my crew. They really was, because if not, I would have became a very violent human being. It's the truth. And what they did was we all sat around, and what we're doing right now, we chopped it up. You know what I'm saying? We laughed. We you know what I mean? We found humor where there was no humor. And we kept going, and this is what got us through stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that to say, just to answer my question, which, I'm way over here, but to answer my question is, whatever drove me to excellence was wanting to see myself succeed. Mm-hmm. Wanting to see myself take full advantage of the blessing that I received. It's that simple. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is the one question I'm gonna answer, because, like I said, John, when I was in college, one of my closest friends, we talked constantly. Mm-hmm. This is what we did. We talked constantly.
You just didn't like anybody, Keith. Be honest. That's why we called you Mr. Mean.
Hey, look. Let me tell you something.
He's sitting in the lobby with this mean look, just be looking at everybody.
like with John, when it came to college, with John could make a friend in the middle of a freaking war zone. You know what I'm saying? And I paid attention to that. You know what I mean? So because when I came up there, I wasn't scarred, but what I was a real private human being. It was only a couple guys that I messed with. But as I ran into people like John, Demetrius, other people, as I ran into those kind of people, I started to pay attention to how they moved through it. They were personable people. And I started to let it go. Started to, you know what I mean? I started to like, okay, I'm going to reach out to you. All right, you good. All right, let's just chop it up. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that to say, if I did not love who I was, because that's the very key to it all. If I didn't love who I was as a human being, who I was when I looked in that mirror, I probably would have gotten lost, because I wouldn't have been able to recognize people like John. I name the same 3 people every time. You want to know why? Because they got me through that dumb shit. And Pitt, University of Pittsburgh basketball, dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we talked about it last night. I got in my freshman year. I got in 3 fights with teammates. Right? Junior year, I broke a assistant coach's nose, who I was good friends with. Broke his nose. I got in fights, right? But the people that I met taught me how to be a better human being, because I took the time to pay attention to it, period. All right, well, that's my answer. But look, next question, and then we on our way. Let me tell you something, Jeff, John, Jaquari, Karson, and Damon, they did a great job, especially with my internet boo-boos and shit. You know what I'm saying? The next question I'm gonna ask you guys is this, and I want to form it in a way that you will understand what I mean. It's from the professional ranks. When you have a favorite player, right? Karson and I talked about this earlier. When you have a favorite player, doesn't matter how much he's getting paid and how you feel about him if he doesn't succeed in a playoff or a big game. You guys understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let me answer it real quick, and then we can go from there. Many times I've sat around, we in barbershops, bars, we talked about sports stuff, right? Especially professional athletes. And if a guy who just really don't have the best team, right, or just is just not good enough, and they fall short, and we say, and they pay him $40 million a year. Why are we paying him $40 million a year? You ain't paying him shit. But why are we paying him $40 million? That's my example. Does that come into play when you think about your favorite players?
Oh yeah.
We'll go to you, Karson, because you're the youngin' in here. What do you think?
Can you explain the question again, please?
Basically, your boy. No, I was gonna say LeBron James, but he can't do no wrong when it comes to you. Let's pick Kevin Durant, right? You see that when he was with Phoenix, he didn't play that well. But Kevin Durant is making $35 million. I'm just throwing a number out. He's making $35 million a year, right? Did he look like he deserved that $35 million a year in the playoffs?
No, my opinion. Actually, yeah.
I'm asking you a loaded question. Does it matter how much he gets paid? Or is it this fact that he just didn't play well?
He just didn't play well because they paying him that much amount of money for a reason, because he's that type of player to play on a high level that they expect him to. So if I'm getting paid this big amount of money, I had to be playing like the best the year before they signed me. So yeah.
Okay. Jaquar.
Well, it's definitely for me. It's definitely a loaded question in the sense, man, that I don't believe any professional athlete deserves millions and millions of dollars to play a fucking sport. I'm sorry. I mean, I work with undereducated youth. I mean, if I if I ever met a teacher with $100,000 contract, the world would be right for me. But as far as their performance and everything, man, hey, look, Monday mornings, if we all went in and punched the clock, and kicked ass for the duration of our time of wherever we worked, you know, yeah, okay, that's ideal, but that's not going to happen, especially for an athlete. We talked about Draymond Green, earlier, man. When he was playing, well, he's still in Cleveland, but
No,
he
he's
been in
the
the.
Warriors. Come on, dog. See what I'm talking
My,
about. We know you ain't
I don't
watching sports.
I don't do sports, bro. I don't do sports at all. But anyway, though, I mean, but when he was when he was with Cleveland and being
He
successful,
never was with Cleveland. Stop. Just make your point, man. Don't say no team. Make your point.
you know what, Keith? I fucking had it with you. No, but okay. I mean, yeah, with the Warriors. My bad. I mean, he how long he been in the league, man? He's older, so he's had to, he's had to adjust his game, man. I mean, I like to think my expectations of professional athletes are realistic, man. You're not go, if you came into the league with a doggone 40-inch vertical, I'll give you 5 years. You're not still gonna have a 40-inch vertical, but you've earned the money.
I got you. Okay. JB.
Yeah, I think as a fan, if you're a fan, you always say that. That's just human nature. Yeah, he should be scoring more points. He's making what, $100 million? He's only getting 10 points a game. That's just as a fan, you always do that. As former players, you kind of know what goes into that. Everybody can't score all the time, but that's how we judge great players. That's the whole Michael Jordan, LeBron thing. Jordan is better because he had won more championships, so people think he's better than LeBron, or vice versa. I mean, look at James Harden. I think they said he just made $300-something million. What has he done? What has James Harden done? Seriously.
You got the best beard in sports.
Yeah, he made over $300-something million, and I think he has a $200 million Adidas contract.
He does.
Yeah. What happened in the playoffs? What did everybody do? The playoff games. He ain't done nothing. Everybody gets rid of him because he don't do anything in the playoffs.
Hey, John, he did do better than Embiid, though, man. But that's another story.
Yeah. So Jeff, yeah, human nature. That's what fans do.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
John?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jeff.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Corey. I don't think any one of the players should be paid the amount of money that they're playing because they don't produce. They don't produce that kind of product. To me, it's just way overpaid. But I mean, to me, because like for the NBA, for instance, I think the NBA, like we said earlier, has become all entertainment. If you can dribble the ball and put on the show, like you can dribble that ball and you can hit that half court shot, and it's all entertainment. Basically, I done seen people hit half court shots at a carnival, and all they get is the teddy bear. So, I mean, basically, if you're going to get paid hundreds of millions of dollars and it's playoff time, yeah, I do think you should be outstanding.
Mhm.
You should be doing that 60 points a game for me, because that's the kind of money you getting paid. So yeah, I think you should be producing in the playoffs. So that's my opinion.
So let me just ask you to redirect this to you. Then it's coming from who you are now, because you everybody on here work hard for a living. You feel what I'm saying? You work hard for the dollars and the luxuries that you have, right? So it's the mentality that you have now. But the thing about it is, and let me just throw this into it, then I want you guys to give me your opinion. The NBA, the owners, and the entity of the NBA, when they have these max contracts, imagine what these franchises are sharing, right? And the actual money that's coming through these different franchises, where they can pay these players the kind of money that they're paying. Does that change your opinion, or does your opinion stay the same?
Doesn't really change my opinion. I mean, the money is. I mean, well, if you look at it in those terms, Keith, think about how much money is being spent on other employees besides the athletes.
I mean, if you work, all right, if you work in the arena, those arena workers, they make a great living, actually. I'm not talking about the peanut vendors and stuff like that. I'm talking about the personnel that actually work in the arenas. They're making $50,000 to $60,000 a year.
You mean the front office?
That's a comfortable living. No, the front office makes more than that. My God, that's real. That's real.
Oh yeah, they make more than that.
No, but my point. This is my point. I do not. And then I'm gonna let you guys just chime in a little bit. No, go ahead. Jaquari, you had your point. JB, what do you think? Did it change at all?
Due to the owners making all that money?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the owners they're giving it out. They want you to produce.
That's true.
They're not just giving it out just to be giving it out.
But my thing is, are you taking on the responsibility because you know the owner is, I understand that's your favorite team or that's your favorite player. I don't care what the owner is actually paying the player. I just want the player to produce,
to perform. Yeah.
I just want them. I don't care about. I'm not in his pockets, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Most of the teams, you don't even know who the owner is, so we don't care about the owner. We want your favorite player to produce on the playoff.
I think that's fair, but as far as bringing in the salary, I think that is an owner's ploy to throw everybody into, like, we out here living our lives, right? Now all of a sudden, why do I need to know what my favorite player is making for a living? Why do I need to know that? I don't care. I shouldn't care. Let me put it like that. But you getting me involved because you putting it out there that his contract is up. All I want him to do is perform when he gets out on that court. You know what I mean? I don't care about nothing else or that field. I don't care how much you're getting paid. It don't matter, because when he cashes his check, that don't mean that his tendons or his joints are going to be stronger. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter. It don't matter. It's like, yo, I want you to ball out because I think you're a dog. I don't want you to ball out because you just got paid $100 million. Because guess what? If a player gets out there and he's playing because he wants his family to be comfortable, when he signs that max contract, what do you think is going to happen with that player mentally? What's going to happen once he signed that dotted line? Is he going to let up because he reached his goal?
Yeah, we don't know. We've seen it go both ways.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
you never know what somebody's gonna do once they sign that check.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Like for example, like Ben Simmons, as soon as he got paid by Brooklyn, as soon as he was like sent out with the Sixers, and then he got traded to Brooklyn, he just like sat out for like 2 years, even though he was like healthy enough.
Now,
Brooklyn ain't nothing but a dope front anyway, man.
a Russian dope front.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, Karson, just to answer your question, because me and you talked about this earlier. Ben Simmons was going through some mental, emotional, whether he feels privileged or not, and people are just piling on him, and he don't have me. I think he don't have the mental fortitude to take it. It don't have nothing to do with him getting paid that amount of money. Now he's relaxing. No, he had problems from the beginning. You know what I mean? But look, let me ask this last question, and then we're gonna take it to the end of this episode, guys. And my question is this: and really and truly, what is your definition of sports, be it amateur or professional? What is your definition of sports? Now, what is the importance of sports to, in your opinion, to our community? What do you think the importance of sports to our community? You guys understand my question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Karson, we're gonna start with you first, man. Are you prepared to answer, or do we need to come back to you?
Um, I need a
So,
little time.
huh?
I need a little time.
All right, Jaquar.
I mean, the importance of sports to our community, man, is the landscape has changed in such a way, man, that hell, college sports, man. I believe they've damn, if I can get it out, I believe they lost their luster, man. I mean, I don't have contact with a lot of young men nowadays, man, who aspire to even go to college, man, let alone play sports. But that's just from my perspective. I mean, for decades, man. I mean, sports was our ticket. It was our ticket out of whatever low income humdrum situation that we happen to be in. You know, but nowadays I don't see that happening much, man. I mean, hell, small colleges, man. Especially with like transfer portals and all these extra doodads and gadgets they didn't added on to the NCAA or whatever, man. It's just put a different look on that, look on everything. Back when we was in school, man, all you had to do was play hard, and a coach would look at you and say, well, hell, he got the heart. I can develop the skill set. But now, hell, high school students damn near need publicists, man. It ain't fair. It's not fair, man. We've taken huh?
In the state of North Carolina, they do need a publicist, man, because they approved the NIL, name, image, and likeness. They approved it for high school kids here.
It's here in Pittsburgh too.
Yeah, here in Georgia. Georgia's the same way.
Incredible, man. No, I'm happy for the kid if they can parlay it. But go ahead, Jaquar.
Absolutely, man. It's become like, sports have become like video games and comic books, man. I mean, like the Marvel movies and all the video games. Video games cost, $65, $70. Marvel movies, man, they're made for people, at least for my generation. All the things that used to be for children, man, aren't for children anymore. Sports included. They're complicated, man. Our society is taking the fun out of friendly competition because it's not friendly anymore. It's become a business. It's become a business at a low level. At the high school level, it's become a business. And it's just bastardized now.
And basically, it's been exposed because it's always been there, but it's been under the radar because it was not legal. Karson, are you ready, brother, or you need more time? You're on mute.
All right, I think I'm ready.
All right.
Explain the question one more time.
What was it? What was the quiet? Help me out, bro.
What does sports mean to
Our
your
community.
coach?
Yeah.
I think it has like a role of like playing like to like a step to like a step in like the way of like someone's ultimate goal. Like if someone wants to go to like the NBA or NFL or any other pro sports, they want to go to college first, right? So that plays a big role in the community because everybody wants to get to college so they can show, they can have a better chance of like going to like a professional sports league, or if they or if you just want to like you want to be like a professional scientist or doctor, you can also go to college so that you can like get a degree, like a good degree to like show just different sciences in the science schools that you're qualified enough to have like a good like job in their department. So it has like a big role in both aspects, and like all aspects of the different jobs and the different things that people want to do right now.
So, in your opinion, sports can be a stepping stone to get you into college.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. John.
Yeah, I'm with Karson. Sports, it should be. I mean, it's important, but you got to remember, only 1% can make it to the NFL or NBA. So your best bet is to try to get, like Karson said, to get to college, and then you got to be able to. When you get to college, you got to get your degree. Don't mess around and do whatever. Use the college. The college is going to use you. You got to use the college and make sure you got all the resources to get your degree, to get out here and get a job. Because, like I said, only 1% going to make it in any NFL or pro. What it is social media. They're showing, everybody flashes what they got and the diamonds and the Louis Vuittons, and that makes kids want to be able to get that, and instead of getting a degree and knowing what the afterlife, what is going to be after life, after college. When we graduated from college, Keith, what did we have to do? Get a job.
Good job.
We graduated, but how many people we know didn't graduate?
Yep.
They were messing around for 4 years, goofing around, thinking they going to the league or something like that, and then reality hit you. So yeah, sports plays a big part. It shouldn't pay. It should be to get to college and then get a degree. That should be the ultimate goal. But it's all about money. I mean, college, all the players in college, we would have loved it. Getting money, everybody gets money now for the NIL deal. Yeah. I mean, you have the two girls on LSU, Flau'jae and Angel Reese. They said they're in no hurry to get the WNBA. They're making more money in college than they will make it in WNBA.
Almost 3 times the amount that they would make in the WNBA.
That's they said they're in no hurry to even get to the league.
Sophomore and a junior in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, yeah,
So
college players now can make good money if you do the right with the money, invest it and save it and do all that. Then when you get out, you got a good start in life. Making all that money. You don't make it to the league, so it's all about money.
Jeff.
My opinion on that is, like back in the day, sports was hope for a lot of us. Um, our parents weren't financially able to send us to college any other way. So, through sports, we worked our butts off in order to get that scholarship to go, to go to college, to better ourselves, because a lot of us look forward to, if I go to college, I get a better job, I can help my family, my mom and my dad, get them better things. That was our mentality. I mean, true enough, we were also thinking, you know, going to the league, the NFL, the NBA would be possible. But like for me, my main thing was like, man, if I can just get to college, get a better, lifestyle so I can help take care of my mom, my dad, And then it was, as I got into college, it was like, oh, wow, I can make it to the pros, So that was the mentality back in the day. Nowadays, I mean, it's kind of sort of the same mentality, but there's a whole different ball game is how they playing it. I mean, I moved my son, my family to a whole different community so he can have a better opportunity for college and, getting better looks at, and stuff like that. Which now that when I do look at it, when I look back on it, that wasn't the best idea because it's a game to the people in the better communities. They were donating tens of thousands of dollars to the high schools, because they knew, well, if I donate this $10,000 for them to better the stadium or them better the gym or whatever, my kid is going to get more playtime. He's going to get looked at. And they actually were using that, because I wasn't able to donate those thousands of dollars to that school. And I'm looking at my son, who was a better player than some of the kids in his position, but he wasn't getting the time because so-and-so's parent donated large amounts of money, and also, like you said, as far as the NIL, with your parents donating that money, you get that name, you get looked at more, so now the colleges are saying, oh, wow, this kid is this. For instance, we had this one kid, he was a tight end, came in as a ninth grader. They had him ranked, I think he was like number 2 in the nation as a tight end. That's because when he was in junior high, he showed up. When he got to high school and the competition was a little steeper, the boy couldn't hold a tennis ball, let alone a football. And it was all because, okay, his name was out there. His dad played pro football, and his name just was out there. But when the kid got in and seen the talent that was much more higher than he expected, and they were popping him before he can even get his hands on the ball, the reality hit real quick, So, it's a whole different world out there now. It's not fair, for our community. For our community, our kids have to be not only the fastest, the most talented, they have to be more than what the other communities or cultures, I'm just going to say it, white folks, they have to be way more talented in order to get those rankings. And, but it's a whole different ball game now. I kind of feel sorry for the young kids, Karson, but I'm gonna tell you, brother, play your butt off when you get the opportunity. No, I mean, like Ja'Cory said earlier, quite a few times, sometimes you have to be selfish. Sometimes you have to think about you. And if you want to make it, think about you. Work hard. The team may come second, but you come first. All right. That's my opinion.
Listen to your dad.
Yeah.
That makes it makes perfect sense, because see, the thing that I've always, the quote that always comes to me, and it's an old school quote. They say you got to be twice as good to get half as much.
Exactly.
And it is getting a little worse now, because it's about name recognition. How many times your name pops up on social media? You know what I mean? And what I think, to be honest with you, is laziness on the recruiter's part. Because what they ended up doing, and this started with my oldest son, and he graduated in 2010, where they only relied on the recruiting. The coaches only relied, and I had good friends that were recruiting, assistant coaches at different colleges, right? Me and JB. And they only relied on the word of the travel coach, the AAU coach. But these guys had their own, I'm talking about basketball now.
Mm-hmm.
These guys had their own agenda. See, that's the thing about it is sometimes, and what I was able to do is understand, because I could pick up a phone and call one of my ex-coaches, like, hey, can you give me some advice on this? You know what I mean? And I did that a couple times. Like, can you give me some advice? And basically what they did was they gave me a certain amount of advice to steer my oldest son whatever, right? But what it did in the long run, it helped me to understand that there are many roads to where you want to go to. There's not just one road. There are many roads. Whether it's a short stop at junior college or community college, and then to go forward, or if you walk on somewhere and go forward, or if you go to a smaller school, do well there, and then transfer out. Many roads. And it's about you being patient and not falling into what the world says you should fall into. I mean, that's just how I feel. Mm-hmm. But look, I appreciate you guys. I apologize to John and Jeff and Karson for my internet mishap, because it was going back and forth, but I finally was able to stay on. And we look, you guys did a great job without me, which I knew you would. I told you guys you would. But you did a great job without me, and I appreciate the fact that you went forward and you kept working and doing your thing. Great job, Ja'Cory. Great job.
Great job.
Appreciate it.
Jeff, John, I knew y'all would do great, man. You know what I'm saying? I knew you would do great. Look, Karson, this is your fourth time on here, so You know, you old news, my guy. You know what I'm
The
saying?
old pro at it
You know what I'm
already.
saying? He already
Carson
know.
teaching me. He teaching
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So John, Jeff, understand that you always have a place. On Jaquari told you earlier, you always have a place here. If you want to come on, you come up with something. It don't have to do with sports. If you want to come on and talk about a certain thing, let me know, and I'm bringing you on because I got a lot of respect for both of you guys. There's no doubt about it. You know,
Thank
and
you.
you did a
Thank you.
great job tonight. You did a great job. You know what I'm saying? Before we leave here, I want to thank Jennifer Bruce, the legend, KJ Jones, and the other legend. Both that KJ, you're a legend too, man.
Yeah, all
But,
three.
yeah, Clyde Vaughn, legend.
Glad to glide.
Congratulations again, my guy. And Jennifer, great questions. And you know, I want you to come on. Please come on. You know what I'm saying? Any last words, Jeff? Any last words, brother? Any last impressions?
All I got to do, all I need to say is thank you for allowing me this opportunity to express my opinion on sports. And I did. I enjoyed myself. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Karson, any last words, any last impressions?
Appreciate for you letting me on here. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you for letting me have my perspective on this. Appreciate it.
Okay. JB.
Yeah, I love this. My first one. I'll definitely be on again. I loved chopping it up with you guys, meeting you guys, and I'll definitely be on again. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Hey, remember to stay on afterwards, man, for about 2-3 minutes, man. Right after we come off live. Jaquari, any last words, my guy?
Gentlemen, I thank you for your time, and I value it, and I look forward to seeing you again. Like, share, and subscribe.
Jaquari, great job, man. Great job. But I knew you would do a great job. Um, like Jaquari said, go to our YouTube channel. Go to it and subscribe for us, man, because look, we are the best kept secret. We're about conversations. We're about everything. This is what we're about. All right. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Good night.